Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Manju Kaur and today we have here with us Patrice Burke, the President of Associated Student Body Government representing Delta College. Welcome, Ms. Burke.
Well, thank you for having me today. It's an honor to be here.
So tell us about your position and what do you do specifically?
Well, the position of the President of the Associated Student Body Government, the ASBG on campus, is to ensure that the students have an opportunity to resources on campus and have help when they need it. And also to oversee the operations of the student body government, the different offices that we carry. We have 17 students that serve on the Associated Student Body Government, which sit in different positions.
Cool. Now, earlier on March 14th, you had a March of March. Can you tell us a little bit about the student protest in Sacramento?
Absolutely. The protest was brought about by the SSCCC, which is the Student Senate for California Community Colleges. Okay. I have an opportunity to sit on that as a Region 5 Senator. And what it's about is because the budget cuts are coming in regards to education, and right now we're looking at $585 million and $400 million, $585 million federally and $400 million in state, which is approximately $1 billion in budget cuts to ensure that students have a right in California to an education. So they're looking at everything from raising the tuition of the community colleges to a cap on enrollment to the changing of the process of priority registration. So there's many areas that they're looking into consideration.
That's cool. How did you organize the march?
Well, the march came from the Student Senate of California Community Colleges. It's something they do annually. Now, when they look at doing this, they go across the state or across California to make sure all the community colleges are involved. The person that sets it up is named Rachel Richards. We set up a committee. So once we have the committee established, everyone gets a job on the Student Senate of California Community Colleges, the SSCCC, and we divide who's going to speak, who's going to help, who's going to be doing the security, things of that nature. So that came from the state level, but all the colleges are involved in the process. And this year was a great event, and we had, I think there was over 50 buses and 13,000 students.
Wow, that's a lot of students. So what was the overall goal of the protest?
To ensure that the state officials know what the effect of the budget cuts are on the students. And that goes from, again, from raising tuition, from looking at the cap on the units that students are carrying and what's going to happen. Delta College alone is looking at $8.3 million in budget cuts. Other schools are looking at $24 million, and some schools are looking at $15 million. So all the students are going to be affected with the process and what happens. So it's a very scary situation for education at this time at all levels, but especially the community college level.
Tell us what happened after the protesters left?
After the protesters left, what we did, we had an opportunity to go actually lobby inside the state capitol. So I had a chance to go see Assemblyman Berryhill and go in and talk about, he's one of the senators that has a contract, I understand, that they've signed. They say no new taxes. In fact, the news stated that we're looking for new taxes to what we're doing, and actually what we're asking is that the existing taxes stay on the ballot and that we keep them going for in the next election in June. But first we have to get it on the ballot, and they don't want to put it on the ballot. Some assemblymen are choosing not to get it on the ballot, and without that, Delta College alone will be looking at $12 to $15 million in budget cuts within the next 3 years.
That's a very concerning, not letting the students' voices be heard on the ballots. You also went to the Washington, D.C. Assembly, right? A conference?
Yes, the ASAC conference. And that conference talked about more nationwide issues. What they're also looking at doing at the federal level is they're looking at cutting the Pell Grants by $825. Now there's 12 million community college students at the national level, and there's 9.6 million of these students that actually get the Pell Grant to keep them in school. So it's a large percentage that are be affecting the students if they cut the Pell Grant. And we have to make sure that it continues to grow year by year for the students to get there. We're getting more students in because many areas, Stockton alone, we have the highest foreclosure rate, job loss rate, and now we're saying that we don't have enough money to send our communities to school. What's going to happen when our communities of nation level and just state level, if we don't have a workforce that is educated, it's going to break down our communities, and what's going to happen then?
This isn't just affecting community colleges, this is also affecting the the universities and the state universities. And do you think that the community colleges are gonna be losing a lot of students to trade schools?
At this time, that's the process, that's what's happening. They're saying that it's faster to get to the trade schools, like Phoenix, the online schools, things of that nature. Now, the situation that arises with the community college system is that we're asking these students to get in and get out and do it quickly. But when we're cutting sections of classes, how do you get a class that is continuous with another class if the class is cut the next semester or not even available, so we're not able to do what they're asking us to do when they're cutting our classes?
Let's take a look at some of our footage from the March of March protest. Hello and welcome to the March of March. I'm Manju from San Joaquin Delta College's DCTV. We are here at the state capitol marching for our education. Let's take a look at some of the people over here. There's supposed to be a reported over 1,000 people over here protesting for their education. Education is a right, not a privilege. So what did you think about this march?
I think it was a great turnout. Every year the march has been bigger and bigger, and this was the biggest one of them all, and so we're very pleased with the turnout, and we're hoping that the state legislators inside will heard our voice and will give the people of California the opportunity to vote. If you're going to wake up before dawn, drop away halfway across the state, and walk a mile and a half in the rain, you're going to be outraged about something. So yeah.
We're here with Daniel Shed from Region 9. Can you tell us what area is that?
Region 9 is located in Southern California. It represents the 13 colleges in the San Bernardino and Riverside counties. Our goal here to being here today is to represent those 400,000 students that are going to be left out should the voters not have a chance to decide in the June primary election. We're here to represent the almost 3.1 million students that are in the community college system, which represents 112 community colleges statewide. My college alone, we have 13 colleges that are active and ready, and we had 253 students from our region here today representing the Inland Empire. It seems to be a yearly, collaboration of all the system partners that come together and rally for education. We stand in unity and transparency and inclusiveness, and this is something that will continue throughout the system because we need to bring notice to these legislators here in this building that represent us statewide. We need to let them know that we're not going to tolerate the cuts, that we want our education, we are the future, we want the opportunity to vote. We need to let them know that we need to let the voters decide. We are a democracy.
Are you satisfied with the outcome today?
I'm very satisfied with the outcome today. Despite the weather, the cuts are imminent. That if we don't stand up for our right to vote, if we don't stand up for what we want and for our education, they will cut it, they will leave us out. So we need to be here in unity and showing them that we will not be left behind.
So we're back from the footage from March of March. Ms. Patrice Burke from ASBG Delta College is still with us. Ms. Burke, do you think that there's any compromises in this, the tuition, maybe free books or less cost of the books?
It's a challenge. Budget cuts are on their way. It's going to happen. The most important part is that through California Title V and through Ed Codes, it states that anything that affects a student that we have an opportunity to have a voice in regards to. And that's an important part of what they need to understand is that yes, the budget cuts are coming, but the students have to be involved in the process. We have a lot of student apathy on our campuses, and we need to get the students involved because these programs are affecting us. A lot of these programs are categorized programs, which are EOPS, CalWorks. And that's where your daycare is getting cut and things are happening, but these are the students that need it the most. The single parents that are out there that just want an education to improve their families and to improve their communities. What part of the question is for them, what is success? And a lot of what they're looking at success is someone that goes to a community college and transfers to a UC. I truly believe that success is if you come to school and English is your second language and you learn English and you go into your community and get a job, that is truly success. Success is that you can get here every day. Success is our own individual needs. I am successful in what I do. I come to school, I have an opportunity to serve students. So success is defined on an individual basis, and I think that they need to realize the importance of what is success for the students and not define it for them.
Right. And now, what is going on in the future? There's another assembly that's going to happen the April 1st to the April 3rd here in Sacramento at the DoubleTree Hotel?
Absolutely. That's going to be the General Assembly, which is, again, the Student Senate for California Community Colleges. That means all the California community colleges come together to write resolutions that are going to make a difference in education. What happens is we write resolutions, they go to committees, and then we go and lobby in Sacramento for the resolutions that we have written. So these are very important that the California community colleges are involved in the process. You have to have a majority. There's 112 community colleges in California, and they go and they vote on the resolutions to see, and they pass them or they fail them, just like a vote would be in Congress or in the House. So it's real important that the students get involved in the process of the resolutions and what happens. We happen to also have Gavin Newsom that's going to be speaking at the General Assembly, so we're very excited to have a Lieutenant Governor there speaking to the students. So it's going to be a great event, students coming together for the common goal of education. And at this time, it's important that we stand united and 2.9 million students strong, that we're all here to get our education, and how we're going to work together to ensure that all students have an opportunity from basic skills to transfer to students that it's English as a second language. What are we going to do to ensure that our communities have the opportunity for an education in our own children? I have 3 children. I want them to have an education. And now is the time to be proactive, come together, and work for the common goal.
Now, can you tell our viewers where and what time exactly the event is going to be happening? Is it open for everyone? Is it public?
Yes, the public can go. They can go get an observer's pass and go to all the workshops that are there, as long as there's opening in the rooms with the SSCCC students, and go and observe the process. We, the community colleges, count on the SSCCC to ensure that the laws and what's happening are being lobbied in Sacramento. They're our voice in Sacramento, so it goes at the local level, the state level, and then it goes to federal level. And then there's actually a region level in between where we are elected to serve on the state level. And there's 30 officers that fit within the system for the community colleges, for 112 community colleges.
Wow. Is there anything that you want to let our viewers know? Anything else about education?
Well, I'll tell you, it's important right now that students get involved and let their voice be heard. They find out what's going on. I have to tell you that yesterday, they already voted to raise our tuition by $10. So now not only was our tuition $26, now our tuition is $36 raised as of yesterday. They want to raise it to $66. So they're not finished looking at what's going on. Yes, budget cuts are happening. Are they going to happen? They are. There's not a lot that we can do to stop the cuts, but we can stop them on the backs of students. We can make sure that we look at what's happening in our colleges. How many people do we have working in the colleges, and how are the cuts going to happen to the students? So the students have to get involved. They need to write their assemblyman. They need to write the congressman. They need to look at the Pell Grant and talk about the importance of that, and write letters on their own and let them know how much the Pell Grant has helped them to get through school. Because without education, what happens to our communities? What happens to our students? What happens to our nation? Because we want a world that's educated and can grow and become and be the best that we can be.
Well, there you go, folks. Make sure you vote in the upcoming June election. This is Manju from DCTV and Patrice Burke from SBG representing Delta College.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.